Oh! Jesus! It's food o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Quorn vegetarian steak slice, advertised as, or their slogan is, appetizingly easy. But take a look at that. 47% of this steak slice, well, it's 9.5 grams of saturated fat, which is 47% of your daily allowance. You're having nearly half of your daily allowance saturated fat. So for my tea tonight, I'll have to have a couple of bananas. But saying that, I was in Belgium a few years ago, and they have to get flavour somewhere in these vegetarian pies, pasties, slices. So I was in Belgium a few years ago at a beer conference, and it was a Michelin star restaurant, this gourmet restaurant place, and they brought over our meals. One of these places where they just bring it over. You don't ask for what, they just bring it and you have to eat it. And it was like this like pork thing, and it was wrapped in fat, and they were all chucking in and really enjoying it. And I was like, I'm not eating that. I can't eat that. It's just the whole thing was really fatty. I can't eat it. And one of the bloggers there said to me, you know what, Simon, fat equals flavour. And that stuck in my mind. It really did stick in my mind. And of course, when it comes to things like this, 47% saturated fat, that's where they get their flavour from. Let's get it in the microwave, see what we get. Okay, here we go. Fresh out the microwave. It looks okay, smells okay. My one question, well, I was in Amsterdam Airport, Schiphol, a couple of months ago, and I reviewed the McDonald's vegetarian chicken, they called it chicken, vegetarian chicken McSandwich. Now, vegetarian, of course, is not meat. And the same, they've used the word steak here. Same thing. So, basically, going back very quickly, I had a load of comments in the comments box saying, how can they call it chicken? Vegetarian chicken, it's impossible. So, I'm immediately thinking the same thing here. How can they call it a steak slice when it's vegetarian? The only way, I suppose, to is just dissect it. Just open this thing up and it's really hot. Right, let's get him. Open it up. Right. Boiling hot, wow. Okay, I'm going to give it a Quorn. It looks like a steak slice. Whatever they, well, of course there's bits of Quorn in there. Well, that don't look too bad. I'm a big pastry fan. I imagine that's where all of that saturated fat is. Ooh. I had a boingy bit. I was like, oh, that's weird for a vegetarian pasty, but it turned out it was a bit of onion that was a little bit slippery in the old mouth. It's very nice. It's very nice. I mean, if this was handed to me as a blind taste test, I think I'd say this is the best steak pasty I've ever had. Really good. Of course, it's the pastry. That hearty puff pastry, all that saturated fat in there. There's quite a bit of Quorn in this in this pasty, but you can see the main body of it, the texture, the taste is all in that pastry. Very clever thing to do, I suppose. So okay, they've actually managed to get it to taste like a minced beef and onion pasty, which is quite remarkable. Nice texture to the Quorn, lovely onion, nice peppery, spicy finish on the back end there. The pastry's stunning. Another wet day here in the UK. Just something nice and hearty to brighten your day a little bit. Do my John Rambo bit. I think his knife's a bit bigger than mine. There you go. That's a look at the centre. Blimey, they dropped it on the floor. And another thing I want to mention as well quickly, they told me not to, well, it said not to microwave it. They said to put it in the oven for 16 minutes on gas mark 6. No mention of microwave there. There's only one way you can eat a pasty this day and age, and that's to microwave it. Has to be. Oh, this half of the pasty, or slice, I keep calling it pasty. Steaks like this, loads of, keep nearly saying meat. It's not meat, it's Quorn. Loads of Quorn in that end. Nice gravy. The other half was lacking gravy. This is where all the action is. What? A lovely, peppery, wonderful. I love a bit of spice, a bit of pepper. Oh, that's beautiful. And not too salty either. What I've noticed from doing all of these new, what I've been doing on the channel, these new kind of pies, pasties, McDonald's, pizzas, what I've failed to get across to you guys from my few months of doing it, well, it's been nearly a year now of doing food reviews, is that after the food review, about half an hour later, I'm gasping for a cup of tea or a glass of water or something, because the food is incredibly salty. I don't feel like this is gonna do that to me. It's not gonna be the most saltiest kind of. Oh, Jesus! Oh, that was pure panic. There's a load of molten. I can see now why they say don't put it in a microwave. Oh, I think I burnt my hand. That was, oh, blimey. It just fell apart on me. After, isn't it amazing how it'll burn your fingers but it won't burn the inside of your mouth? There we go. No problem. Oh, blimey, that really couldn't get her off my fingers. Got to flick some on the floor. Okay, nearly done. I suppose just to, it's time for a recap now, isn't it? Finish up. It was £1.50. About the same price as a Greggs. If you're a vegetarian, that's lovely. Really good. If you're a vegetarian, you'll really like that. Ah, there we are. It's got 1.3 grams of salt in, so it's 21% of your salt intake. Sugar 2.4%, fat 20%, saturated fat, that's the big one, 9.5 grams, 47%. They must have chucked them in a bath of oil before they cooked them. Right. Did it fill a hole? Yeah, absolutely. Been for my 6-mile walk today. Home, bit wet. Again, raining all the time at the moment, and it's the autumn in the UK. It's October. Always seems to rain in October. We're fast heading to winter now, which is weird because just a few weeks ago I had a barbecue and it was roasting. I was catching the sun. A few weeks later, there's no chance of that. You've got to travel 300 miles to Spain for that, I suppose, now. Pardon me. A hearty vegetarian steak slice. I don't know how they can call it a steak slice still. I don't know. Comment in the comments box. Let me know how they can possibly call it a steak slice. I find it slightly odd. There's no meat or lamb or chicken or, you know. Bit strange. How can vegetables be steak? Or how can Quorn be steak? Rating, I like that. 8 out of 10. Fills a hole. 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Put your comments in the comments box. Please subscribe to our daily beer. We do beer a lot. We do a lot of food as well. Like, subscribe, boom, cheers.